Welcome back to Bloom's Mind Over Matter edition. When it comes to money, as women, many times we turn the reins over to the man in our life. But women are expected to control $30 trillion of the financial assets in the U.S. And experts will tell you it's time we understand how to handle our own money. Joining me now is the author of How Money Works for Women, Kim Scouller. Kim, welcome to Bloom.
Thanks, Gail. It's great to be here.
So let's talk about some statistics that I find to be very fascinating. The first one is women earn 82 cents for every $1 earned by a man. So we're already starting behind the eight ball.
That's exactly right. That gender pay gap puts us behind at the very beginning, and it's really hard for a lot of women to catch up.
Okay, the next statistic that I found, not too shocking. 42% of women are afraid that they'll run out of money by the age of 80.
Unfortunately, a lot of women end up in that situation where they're depending completely on Social Security or they're below the poverty level. So one of the things we want to do by educating women, by helping them understand how money works, is to help them plan earlier so they're not in that situation and so they don't have that fear in their retirement years.
All right, the next statistic that I think will wake women up to realize that we really need to get a handle on the situation is that 80% of women will die single. So there's nobody to rely on.
That's correct. 80% of men die married and 80% of women die single. And so while so many women in relationships will defer the financial decisions to their partner, they're going to end up making these decisions on their own. So they really need to participate early and get that understanding as early as they can.
All right, so talk to me about money with family, friends, and especially other women.
So women tend to really take kind of a back seat. We, don't feel we're smart enough. We don't feel we know enough. We don't feel that we know what the right questions are to ask. And so one of the things that we really encourage women to do in order to become more educated is to just start talking about it. Start talking about what worries you, what keeps you up at night. What are the things that you want to accomplish that are going to require some financial planning in order to get there? Now, we women will talk about everything and anything with our girlfriends and our sisters, and but we don't talk about money because it's been kind of a taboo subject for us. But if we, bring it into the light and really talk about the things that matter to us and that we're worried about, women make change when we start talking about the things that are important to us.
Our entire show today is dedicated to mind over matter.
Right.
And it sounds to me like we just have it in our minds, and I say we, because I'm guilty of a lot of what you're talking about today. We can't do it, but we can, and this is why you wrote the book, How Money Works.
Exactly. Understanding the basic concepts of money is not rocket science. There are some really pretty basic principles and some things you need to keep in mind to create a solid financial plan. And we believe that if women understand that from the very beginning, as early as they can, or even later in life, you're never too old to, start doing the right things financially and to get on track. That, with that knowledge, I think women can change the world.
I think that's incredible. All right, you say it really starts with knowing your financial situation.
Well, that's exactly right. So many people have this attitude of ignorance is bliss, and they don't want to know. What they don't know can't hurt them. But it's really important to get that knowledge. So do an inventory of your income. Do an inventory of your assets, of your debts, of your insurance. Know where you are financially. And once you have that knowledge, then you can create the plan to get where it is you want to be.
And you say part of that you need to start understanding some less talked about money concepts.
Right. So, for example, what we teach in the book are three basic financial concepts: the power of compound interest, the time value of money, and the rule of 72. And when people, women especially, understand how those concepts can work in your favor or against you especially if you don't understand them, I think it really is a wake-up call. For example, the rule of 72, you take the number 72, you divide it by your interest rate, and it tells you the number of years it will take your money to double. So if all your money's in a bank account and it's earning 1%, 72 divided by 1 is 72. Your money will double in 72 years. A lot of women want that safety of a bank account, but if they understood your money's going to double in 72 years, can you wait that long for retirement? Can you wait that long for your money to double? I think knowing that will help women make more informed choices.
This has been a fascinating conversation. I think it's incredible that you wrote this book, and thank you so much for joining us on Bloom today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been great.
All right. We're going to share Kim's story on BloomTampaBay.com. And before we go to break, it is time for today's Bloom trivia question. Women couldn't get their own credit cards until 1966, 1974, or 1980. We'll have the answer later on Bloom.